Hello, good evening. It's News 360 coming to you live from the News Hub here at Adesawe in Kanda. I am Portia Gabo.
And my name is Pa Kwesiasari. Coming up in the next 60 minutes.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint
and Napa Foods. Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil.
Families of 5 suspects killed in Botiano shooting incident opposed to police service conducting post-mortem on their bodies.
Former Electoral Commission Chairman Dr. Kwadwo Afari-Gyan cautions against over-reliance on technology in Ghana's election management.
Also in the bulletin tonight, the Office of Special Prosecutor insists it can arrest without a warrant after an Accra High Court restrained it from arresting former Secretary to the dissolved Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, Charles Bissell, for 10 days.
Also in the bulletin, we'll take you to some markets where anxious livestock farmers and butchers are reacting to the anthrax outbreak.
Later in business tonight, approximately 56 million cedis was lost in banking sector fraud in 2022.
On the international front, we'll bring you an update on the Greece boat disaster where capsized boats had 100 children in hold.
Hello and welcome. We're streaming live on Facebook tonight. We're also live on your DSTV channel 279. You can join us with your views, comments and suggestions on any of our top stories this hour. Feel free to share comments on any of our top stories tonight. You can visit our social media page on Facebook and on Twitter.
The news now in detail. And despite the use of technology in enhancing election management under the Fourth Republic, former chair of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Kwadwo Afari-Gyan, has urged caution in its use. Speaking at a round table on integrating technology in election management, he further criticized the Electoral Commission resorting to regional rather than constituency election collation centers. Eric Mawena Edbeta reports.
Ghana's election management continues to be a growing process, from the introduction of photo albums to biometric capture of voters. The journey to make the processes better continues unabated. At the heart of the advancement in technology for election management, however, is to safeguard and engender trust in the results declared. A position backed by former chair of the EC, Dr. Afari-Gyan. He wants the capacity of electoral officials improved to aid technology advancement.
It is not desirable to set up many collation points in the results management process. Each collation center represents a point where results can be corrupted. Training election workers well to minimize the possibility of errors.
For the current EC, the gains chalked from successive deployment would be enhanced with the use of the Ghana card as the sole document for registration for the next general elections.
We are still insistent that let us use the Ghana card so that we address the issue of minors, because their date of birth is on the card and the citizenship is also on the card. So that will also in a way reduce drastically the registration of minors and foreigners.
That position has been supported by the governing New Patriotic Party, who want Parliament to stay clear of the EC in its mandate.
Other means, like the guarantee system, is fraught with violence at the polling station. And we should not encourage that. In this modern technological era, solid technology behind that to eliminate age cheating on elections.
For the NDC, though, the posturing of the EC only adds to the growing adversarial stance.
We in the NDC are saying that first of all, let's look at the human resource at the Electoral Commission. Second of all, let's put integrity at the forefront.
With the content of public perception of the EC still very rife, the Electoral Commission maintains it cannot force trust.
The CSOs, the observers, media, they all do parallel coalition, but none of them has ever contradicted Electoral Commission's results. They all tell you, right? So that tells you that Electoral Commission is not doing anything different.
But for the former EC chair, actions including the resort to regional coalition exercises breeds the perception of bias and laziness in the current commission.
It builds confidence in the process. So I think that borrowing that we did from Nigeria by not collecting from at least 275 result sheets, but from only 16 result sheets. At the next opportunity, we should reverse it. That's why I said, okay, maybe the Electoral Commission is being lazy.
You're still watching News 360. This is our major news bulletin for the day. Let me take you to Parliament now, where the Majority Chief Whip, Frank Arnold Domprey, has said 120 NPP MPs support the candidate of Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia to become the flag bearer of the governing New Patriotic Party. Speaking exclusively to TV3, Frank Arnold Domprey says it is Dr. Bawumia's time and no one must attempt to change it.
This is not Alan's time. This is Dr. Bawumia's time.
Why is it not Alan's
No,
time?
you see, politics, there's a season and time. If you're not careful, you get it wrong. Look at the U.S., Biden himself. President Biden himself. Look at where all the processes, the up and down he went through. Today, he's president. You see, and people said, okay, Alan was closer in the last, the primaries we held to Akufo-Addo.
The president gave him his word.
So reasonably, I don't know about that, reasonably he would take over. The dynamism of leadership and politics should let them know. And my colleagues, with respect to Carlos, Eugene, and co, the dynamism of politics should let them know that the narrative has changed. It is Dr. Bawumia's time. Look, nobody can change it except God. Nobody. And with respect to all the people who are seeking to lead our party, fact of the matter, unless you are pretending, I have been on the ground. I've been to all the regions. Today, if the primaries is conducted, Dr. Bawumia will win.
Will you be shocked if Alan beats him to it?
He cannot. Alan cannot beat Dr.
That's
Bawumia.
quite strong.
Look, I am not a novice in this game. I am not at all. I have done grassroots mobilization all up to this time. If a win is coming, I can see it, I can feel it. Even the special delegate conference, wait for me. Doctor will not win less than 70% of the special delegate conference. Which we
will not win
less than 70%. Keep this, mark it. You call me to congratulate me. We've done our work. We are still working. The grassroots support will be bigger. You know, in the initial stages, there were a bit of challenges. Now things are beginning to take shape. So it is Dr. Bawumia's time. Finito.
Meanwhile, Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia will be filing his flag-bearer nominations at the party's headquarters tomorrow. And trust your election command center to bring you live coverage. But before that, let's speak to senior lecturer at the Political Science Department of the University of Ghana, Dr. Kwame Ansah Asante. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. Dr. Bawumia is expected to file his nomination papers tomorrow, Friday, June 16. The Vice President seems to enjoy a lot of support within the Parliamentary Majority Caucus. You just had the Majority Chief Whip there throwing his weight behind the Vice President. Should this be of concern to Alan Kyerematen as well as the rest of the contenders?
Hello?
Right, Dr. Asante, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Right. I was asking you that it appears Dr. Bawumia is enjoying a lot of support from the heavyweights within the party. We just heard from the majority chief whip, Frank Anodompre, throwing his weight behind Dr. Bawumia and suggesting that not less than 120 NPP MPs are behind him. Should these pose as a worry to Alan Kyerematen and the rest of the contenders?
I'm not sure this is going to pose a problem to any candidate worth his or her salt in this type of business. Obviously, there are people who will throw their support behind you. But the real issue is when it comes to voting, who will actually vote for you is the thing. And it's a function of your ability to mobilize the supporters, a function of your ability to develop message that will resonate with them, and then be able to, organize yourself in a manner that they will look at you and decide not to vote for any other person than you. So it's a whole mix of factors that come together to help you to win, but not necessarily that people throw in their support behind you. Yes, it can be comical and it can be misleading.
Is that not the case, Dr. Asah-Asante? Is it not the case, as we've seen in the past, that the grassroots are often carried along by the views and decisions of the heavyweights, like the parliamentarians, like the, the party executives, for instance? If you have 120 or more MPs throwing their weight behind the vice president, that should tell you what the grassroots should be thinking of.
It's not always the case. In fact, more often than not, that is the reverse. Because if you say so, then you want to tell me that anytime you have the big wigs in the party within parliament rooting for somebody, a person is home and dry. It has never been the case. The real issue is that people have their own reasons why they vote one way or the other. And that is how people vote in this country. There are a lot of factors. How popular you are with the party, how well you are in terms of your relations with the grassroots, how well you are in terms of your appreciations of the problems of the party and beyond, and then a host of other factors. So it's not that simple that as soon as people root for you, you have won. Otherwise, people can remember the propaganda effect that people can even go and then bash people to follow them and the rest of them. That will deceive you into believing that the right thinking people are behind somebody, and for that matter, you should follow them. No, the propaganda role is there, but the reality is that people vote based on certain issues.
My final question to you, sir, and if you can make it very brief for me, does it surprise you that for a party that believes in long servitude, in loyalty, will today be throwing its weight behind the president when you consider the fact that someone like Alan Kyerematen was there during the establishment of the party as far back as 1992, supporting the party, and he's been through the ranks, he's been through the mill, risen through the ranks, and you would have expected that you'd have that clarion call, that massive support coming in from the parliamentarians and the bigwigs within the NPP.
I am surprised myself that people are now taken away from their earlier position and they are assuming a new one, that it can be understood within the context of politics, that in politics, anything can happen. And that if you get opportunity, just organize yourself. And then that is the way to go. As Nkrumah said, organization decides everything. It is not the multitude of people who follow people. It's not the mass of people who follow people, but your ability to be able to read in between the lines and come out with something that will really pull people by surprise.
Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Asah-Asante is a political science lecturer in the University of Ghana.
Let's continue with the rest of our stories. And the Office of the Special Prosecutor has served notice that it has the power to arrest any person reasonably suspected to have committed corruption or corruption-related offences. The advice to the public was issued shortly after a Human Rights Court granted an ex-parte motion restraining the OSP from arresting former Secretary of the Inter-Ministerial Committee on Illegal Mining. Lord Edo Asare has more.
Citing the Criminal and Other Offences Procedure Act 1960, Act 30, Lawyer for Charles Bissiu, Nana Ejay Bafo-Ewuah, argued the Office of the Special Prosecutor had neither charged or made available any summons for Charles Bissiu. He also noted that both parties had another case at the High Court where Charles Bissiu was always represented during the hearing, hence cannot be described as a fugitive, for which reason he should be labelled as a wanted man by the OSP. Presiding Judge Nicholas Abudakwi, after hearing the submission by counsel for Charles Bissiu, granted a 10-day restraining order against the Office of the Special Prosecutor and adjourned the case to June 22. But, reacting to the ruling by the court, the Office of the Special Prosecutor in a statement noted that in the exercise of its police powers, the Office of the Special Prosecutor can arrest without a warrant any person is reasonably suspect of having committed corruption or corruption-related offences. Charles Bissiu recently filed a suit at the High Court in an attempt to prevent the Office of the Special Prosecutor from prosecuting him after he was declared a person of interest in the investigation of the activities of the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining. He had demanded documents from the OSP backing his investigations. Lodi Dwasari, TV3 News, Accra.
Elsewhere, the ban on the movement of livestock from the Upper East region has led to a shortage in Kumasi. Though the decision is to prevent the spread of anthrax to non-affected areas, livestock dealers say consumers will be at the receiving end due to hikes in the prices of animals should the ban continue.
Ashanti region has not recorded any case of anthrax disease, but livestock dealers and consumers are bearing the brunt of the outbreak. Around this time, when we are inching closer to observing the Muslims' festival of sacrifice, Eid al-Adha, the various livestock markets get congested. But that is not the case when we visited some markets today. The ban on movement of livestock from Upper East region is biting.
A few animals that we have within the region here, although it's not enough, especially the Eid al-Adha getting closer from now 13 or 12 days, 13 days to the Eid itself. Those animals cannot even feed the kind of people that will be looking for animals to do their sacrifices.
If the border is closed, many of our peoples cannot do, and even the cost of the cattle will be more. This year, cattle of 3,000, it can cost 6,000.
None of our animals has been affected by the disease, but we are facing the consequence of the ban because it has led to a shortage of animals and hikes in prices. We are just hoping things turn around before the Eid celebration.
Management of the Kumasi Abattoir says it has intensified surveillance to ensure no affected animal enters their yard.
It is our daily exercises that we will do to make sure we check animals properly, and we carry on what we call the anti-mortem. We have our veterinary department who are doing the anti-mortem inspection for us before we allow the animals in the market for sale. So since then, there is no animal that has even come from Upper East. We have records here. No animal has come from Upper East. So people of Ashanti region, you are safe from taking meat that is coming out from the Kumasi Abattoir.
The regional veterinary office has asked the public to be cautious of where they buy their meat.
In every district, we have either slaughterhouse, slaughter slab, or slaughter point. In those areas, veterinary activities there are being inspected by our veterinary meat inspectors, together with the environmental health officers. So the meat coming from those areas are wholesome. So you don't go to any place where you don't know where the meat is coming from and then you buy. No, go to the approved places.
With barely 2 weeks to celebrate the Eid al-Adha and in the midst of anthrax outbreak, there has been calls for people to slaughter their animal at an appropriate place for safety purposes.
We are also taking this particular opportunity to advise those who are ready to come and buy the animals and go home and slaughter to remain within the abattoir setup and slaughter the animals. It will be safe for the public.
Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Kumasi Abattoir.
And in the Greater Accra region, there are concerns of importing anthrax-infected livestock from the Upper East region. Emmanuel Samani visited a few livestock markets and has come through with this report.
And following that outbreak of anthrax in the Binduri district of the Upper East region, there are concerns that we might import infected cattle down south. Well, I'm here at Foyo, at the cattle hub here, to find out from traders and these herdsmen what they are doing or what mechanisms they are putting in place to ensure that cattle brought from up north are not infected with anthrax.
The sheep and goat, it didn't have that disease. It's cow. Cow have that one. So that one I'm talking. I want to go to Burkina and bring them. If you go by them, veterinary people go check us for us before and bring Ghana here.
So you want to buy the livestock from Burkina Faso and then import it into Ghana?
Yeah. I want to buy it Burkina Faso, Ouagadougou village, and bring it.
It only affects the cattle. It doesn't affect the sheep. The one we use in Salah and all those things, the sheep you see here, they brought them from Burkina Faso, Mali, and even Niger. But for cattle, it only affects cattle rather. It doesn't affect the sheep. So they take all, including the sheep and the goats. So we want government to differentiate between the cattle and the sheep and goats. What we want that the veterinary people, they should try to block the infected ones so that they don't get to down south here. So that the remaining ones, they can let them come in. Because in 14 days time, it's going to be Sanla. That one too, we have to slaughter sheep, goat, and cattle. So if they block all, it will affect the Sanla festivities.
I've seen that you're getting yourself some sheep. I mean, you've heard of the anthrax outbreak. Aren't you scared that the sheep that you're taking home might be infected?
Yeah, for this one, we are hope that this one don't have some sickness. But he did getting to like 3 months with that. So the market no day. That's why still we are doing for here. But the one way they come for now, no. If that one way they get the sickness, that one too. The chief say we don't allow some ram or cow and come to this Accra again. So for this one, she already did for a year. That's why we are still selling. That's what we sell. So no. For this one, I can't fear. I hope that say nothing there with him, no any problem with him. Ram for here, yeah. Whether if a cow, we have them, we raise them like 2 years without 1.5 years. He will deal with me. I just said them. So I get that say, I get the hope say no any sickness with him.
A reminder, you're still watching News 360. This is our major news bulletin for the day. If you feel strongly about any of our top stories tonight, feel free to visit any of our social media pages and share a comment with us. And to one of our top stories tonight, families of the 5 suspects killed in the Botiano shooting incident are opposing the police service conducting a post-mortem of the bodies. The police have initiated moves to have the post-mortem carried out by a pathologist at the police hospital's morgue, claiming that it is the surest way to determine the actual cause of death of the 5 deceased suspects.
The police insist it will go ahead with the postmortem after it procured and filed the coroner's form with the police hospital's morgue. But the families are vehemently opposing the postmortem because the police, in its statement released on June 10, 2023, indicated that the suspects died from gunshot injuries sustained during a shootout on June 8. Out of the 5 suspects killed, remains of 4 have been identified by their families, while 1 person is yet to be identified. The families are also requesting the police to release bodies of their deceased members for burial, but the police have been hesitant. The 4 are Augustine Nikwe, a.k.a. Weku, Daniel Nikwe, Abraham Tetewayo, a.k.a. Brother, and Joseph Amankwano. The police in its press statement, however, refused to disclose the whereabouts of mobile phones and unspecified cash amount belonging to the suspects. The police, however, admitted custody of their cell phones upon inquiry by family members but denied knowledge of a little bag containing the unspecified money. All items retrieved from the suspects are with the police.
In more news tonight, the Ghana Police Service has adopted a communication approach where they only issue statements or press releases, leaving journalists seeking more answers. In this report, we find out if this is the best approach.
The police in recent times have been engaging the media through statements or press releases, leaving journalists and other media persons to their fate. Media houses seeking more information and further clarification even on such statements are left in the dark as the police no more grants live or recorded interviews. But wouldn't this lead to misinformation and speculation?
If there's a statement, usually police statements come if there's an incident, okay? However, there are gaps in the statements. For example, the one that came with respect to the Botiano incident. I mean, when I went through the statements, I had so many questions, lingering all over my mind. So if you don't have the police willing or ready to answer the follow-up questions that might culminate as a result of the statement, it becomes a very difficult situation for the media. Then they would have no option but to rely on security analysts and the likes, human rights lawyers, who were not in the thick of affairs. The media plays an integral role so far as policing is concerned all across the world. In fact, the media facilitates police accountability. So police doesn't go and engage in anything and come and force it down our throats. No. And I hope that the National Media Commission and other stakeholders would come in so they are able to iron out their differences.
But Executive Director of the Media Foundation for West Africa, Suleiman Abraima, thinks the police approach is in the right direction.
It's been ongoing for almost, a year now? And I don't see what is really dire about that policy in terms of public access to information on policing. It appears to me that things are going well. Until perhaps there is evidence to the contrary, I think that I don't see what's wrong with the policy.
Security analyst Kendall retired Festus Abuaje says it is wrong and unfortunate for the police to be hiding behind walls and communicating through papers. He says in other democracies, the police organizes events to explain matters on incidents that occur in society, adding Ghana cannot be different from those democracies. He says the police action amounts to it distancing itself from the populace, describing it as worrying, and urged the police to educate and properly train officers at the various police stations to respond to local matters, as that makes them closer and accountable to the people.
The time wasted in traffic is very disturbing in Accra, especially on prime roads like the Spintex Road. This can lead to hours of gridlock. With one day, the road may flow smoothly, but the next day, a minor accident or construction work can bring the entire road to a standstill. Noble Crosby Annan has the rest of the story.
The frustrations of commuters on the Spintex Road due to heavy traffic are a tale of daily struggle and exasperation. The road is a major thoroughfare that connects various neighborhoods, commercial areas and industrial zones. Unfortunately, it is also notorious for its perpetual congestion, which significantly impacts the lives of the countless individuals who rely on this road for their daily routine. Now, a 5-month traffic interruption over motorway flyover construction announcement worsened the situation.
Every Saturday, there not traffic in the door.
The situation was terrible from Saturday, even on Sunday when the road was expected to be free.
No traffic will happen. I did not hear all block like motor go south. You don't go get chance pass unless you go past like this and go 10 like this. Can't pass like this. If you go Mahama Road, then if you go the motorway to this side, to be blocked for here. So now it will be very difficult small.
The Ministry of Roads and Highways, acting through the Department of Urban Roads, announced that the flow of vehicular traffic
and the southern approach of the Flowerpot runabout will be interrupted for 5 months. This period of interruption is to enable the construction of the flyover on the motorway to progress. The Urban Roads Department in a statement noted that routes such as the east and west bound of Spintex Road, Burma Camp Road from the Gifford Road, and east and west bound of Matichu Road will be affected.
Vivo Energy has partnered with United Way Ghana to raise awareness about the harmful effect of plastic waste and the need to segregate for profit in the La Dade Kotopon municipality. The initiative was carried out by employees of Vivo Energy and pupils of La Ennoble Basic School to address environmental challenges.
Pupils picked plastics around their environs while others cleaned their gutters and weeded. Others went around various households to sensitize and encourage them to segregate the waste generated.
Part of our improving basic education strategy is to ensure that children are healthy enough to be able to come to school and not lose contact hours because they are sick. What we do is that we are identifying, schools where there is greatest need. One of the key reasons why we are doing this in commemoration of World Environmental Day is that we are ensuring that the children themselves, having learned through their environmental clubs what the importance of keeping the environment clean and what they can use these materials that they are, they're using to litter the environment, to do.
Corporate Communication Manager of Vivo Energy, Shirley Tony Kum, expressed the company's resolve to commit to partnerships to inculcate proper environmentally sustainable habits.
It's a whole comprehensive environmental program that Vivo Energy and its partners United Way we've put together to sensitize the school children. We believe that charity begins at home as well, and that is why we are involving the community. Unfortunately, all over the world, about 400 million tons of the plastic that we collect, only a portion of it is for single use. But when you could see that the plastic bottles can be recycled into other products.
Vivo Energy is a distributor of Shell branded fuels and lubricants.
We have the very latest in the world of business coming up shortly. Don't go away.
Gentlemen, we're going to demonstrate to you the superior properties of Flamingo paint as compared to other paint brands on the market. We take equal quantities of Flamingo paint and this ordinary paint. We then dilute them with water. And now, let the test begin. The gentleman on the left is going to apply the ordinary paint, and the gentleman on my right will use the Flamingo Superior paint. As you can clearly see, Flamingo has the obvious better hiding. Furthermore, Flamingo has painted a much larger area. You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint is made with superior formulation to give superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
You are your own person, unique, one of a kind, special. That's why you deserve everything tailored to suit your particular taste, your preference, your needs. Just like MTN Just For You. You can get customized offers tailored to who you are. Dial *141# or use the MyMTN app to get to choose from a variety of offers made just for you.
The sweet scent of rose in the morning brings me so much joy. Inspired by damask rose and infused with 100% natural rose oil. Introducing new Clay Soft Perfume Beads Washing Powder. It's like bringing a garden with you everywhere with this wonderful perfume. Take a garden with you everywhere you go with Clay Soft Perfume Beads Washing Powder.
Are you tired of struggling with bad financial situations? At Quick Credit, we understand the difficulties that come with transitioning to a better one. That's why we're here to simplify the process for you. With loan facilities from 1,500 cedis upwards, all you have to do is call and we will take care of the rest. All you need is your national ID. No savings, no collateral, no susu, no deposits, and no account opening required. Quick Credit has you covered. Whether you're expanding a business, starting a new one, facing an emergency like school fees or funeral expenses, or even just in need of a salary loan. What are you waiting for? Call Quick Credit today. 0302 200 390 or 059 692 0833. We do not give loans via the internet. Quick Credit is regulated and licensed by the Bank of Ghana. Terms and conditions apply. Quick Credit. Lending made simple.
Many people think I get whatever I want because I'm a popular actress. But no, that is not true. Me Alcasano, Adebia mi yebiano, me shishimpe papano. And when I find it, I stick to it. My shishimenya Bell Pack tissues. Bell Pack ewe tea roll. Bell Pack tea roll. Soft, but not weak. Strong, but not hard. It is smooth. Me yusua, me hot tummy. It's just perfect. Same as the kitchen towel. What about what? What me the papaye? What me soaki? Echimu esa pepa. One Bell Pack kitchen towel lasts longer and saves you money. It's time you switch to Bell Pack today. Say your pocket tissue, table napkin, tea roll, and a kitchen towel. Bell Pack is simply the best. It's just perfect.
Nothing feels so good like Bell Pack.
The business segment is brought to you by MTN.
Hello and welcome to the very latest in the world of business. Now, a total of 56 million cedis was lost last year due to banking sector fraud, representing a 7.83% decrease from the previous year's figure of 61 million cedis. That's according to the latest Bank of Ghana report on banking institutions, specialized deposit-taking institutions and payment service providers. However, the involvement of staff in fraud cases appears to have reduced by 32%. 3Business has been analyzing the report.
In 2021, the SDI sector recorded 2,347 cases of fraud. Total loss value in 2022 was 56 million cedis compared to 61 million cedis in 2021. This represents 7.88% decrease from 2021. Most of the incidents recorded involving staff of banks had to do with cash theft from customer accounts, a common phenomenon in the rural and community banking sector. Payment service providers sector, known as PSPs, also experienced some attempted fraud and associated losses due to the increasing usage by consumers of electronic channels for transactions. The sector recorded 12,166 mobile money-related fraud incidents in 2022 compared to 12,350 incidents in 2021, indicating a 1% decrease. Despite the marginal reduction, the loss values were higher. Total value of fraud reported by payment service providers in 2022 amounted to 27 million cedis, higher than the 2021's figure of 14.2 million cedis. E-money fraud in 2022 also amounted to 26 million cedis, a significant increase of 103% from 12.8 million cedis the previous year. The major fraud drivers included forgery and manipulation of documents, fraudulent withdrawals, check fraud, cyber and cash theft. While fraud persists, strict sanctions imposed by the central bank and strong advocacy for improved controls by sector institutions has been attributed to the reduction. For the central bank, continuous sensitization, education and prosecution of persons involved in fraud-related cases will contribute to the fight.
In other news tonight, the Greater Accra region has been identified by the Ghana Statistical Service as a region with the highest rates of inflation for the month of May. My colleague Menu Afol reports on what it means and its implications on purchasing power.
Are you aware that currently Greater Accra is the most expensive place to live here in Ghana? Well, take a look at this data from the Ghana Statistical Services CPI release for May 2023. This is the regional distribution of inflation for last month, May. And you can see that Greater Accra is in the far lead with a rate of 24.6%. Ashanti region is the second most expensive place to live compared to the Northeast, which recorded an inflation rate of just 1%. Now, what this means is year on year, prices have gone up at a faster rate in Accra than in all other regions. Let's use this item for an example and say it costs 1,000 cedis in both regions in May last year. Now, if you lived in Accra from last year till date, what the 24.6% inflation rate means is that you would need an additional 246 cedis to be able to afford this same item in May 2023. But if you lived in Northeast region where inflation rate was just 1%, you would just need 10 cedis more to afford this item in May this year. Essentially, the person in Greater Accra region saw their purchasing power dwindle significantly, whereas the change at the Northeast was relatively smaller. Now, it does appear to be more affordable living elsewhere than in Accra. But there's also one other side, where you may have easier access to health facilities, clean portable water, schools, and many more. So, the choice is yours. Reporting for 3 Business, my name is Menu Afo.
The choice is indeed yours. Where would you rather live? To some of the stories tonight, an energy analyst, Dr. Yusuf Suleimana, has suggested that Ghana reviews its investment strategy in the upstream petroleum sector towards self-production. This comes on the back of dwindling investment in the sector from major players such as Tullow Oil, which is planning to sell its stake in the producing Espoir oil field offshore Ivory Coast.
A potential that could happen to you. So just assume that this news, it happened to be like Ghana, that Tullow is pulling out. That would be so dangerous for our upstream. Nevertheless, I say that it's a wake-up call for us to revitalize our upstream portfolio, to make ourselves ready, prepare ourselves to be able to take our destiny into our own hands. It is no secret that after COVID, we haven't had that massive investment going back to the world of hydrocarbon, especially the upstream. Because of the uncertainties, most players are giving priority to returning some appreciable dividends to shareholders instead of reinvesting. We have to develop our technical know-how, our financial capability. That should this, like what is possible about to happen to Ivory Coast, should come to our shores, then we should be in a position to take up our destiny. Until that, if you look at our upstream, I think we are not ready to be able to take up our destiny, and largely due to the fact that I think we have a bit of poor planning. We haven't prioritized, we haven't been assertive, and we haven't been deliberate in putting investment into the upstream portfolio.
Well, that's it for the very latest in the world of business. For more business news stories, do also visit our website. It's www.3news.com. Reku Ampofo is standing by for the very latest in the world of sports.
You are your own person, unique, one of a kind, special. That's why you deserve everything tailored to suit your particular taste, your preference, your needs. Just like MTN Just For You. You can get customized offers tailored to who you are. Dial *141# or use the MyMTN app to get to choose from a variety of offers made just for you.
Welcome, the Kill It Freedom Fighter! Papa Kill It! Mosquitoes, cockroaches, and flying insects!
Kill it! Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say. But as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made tailor-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
Pepsodent is aware that globally, 1 in 2 children suffer from cavities. That's why by giving her Pepsodent, you're not only protecting her teeth, but also helping her grow up and thrive at every stage of her life with a healthy and confident smile, so she can succeed and achieve all of her dreams. Because every smile matters.
Wait, your tomato mix. Wouldn't so one on pass. Allow put tomato flavor no. No color changing like traffic light. Come on.
Tasty Tom dear. It will surely give you value for money. This steak and little is enough to get our desired quantity of stew and soup.
Taste no so dear. On point. Flavor new.
And it doesn't color your meat or chicken. I don't compromise on the quality of my food. Use Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix. This advert is FDA approved.
Sports segment is brought to you by
Gentleman Cosmetic Range.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360 with me, Ore Kwampofo. We do start off with national team football because the Black Meteors drew 1-1 with Egypt in the international friendly played at the Alexandria Stadium on Thursday. Skipper Daniel Efriye-Bania got the opener from the spot for the Black Meteors after Fatau Isaaku was brought down in the penalty box. Danlad Ibrahim kick in the 20th minute. The defending under-23 African champions, however, managed to restore parity just minutes before half-time. But there was still more drama in the game with just a minute to the break. Zuberi Ibrahim was sent off, leaving Ghana with 10 men for the remainder of the game. The Black Meteors are set to travel to Cairo, where they will continue their pre-tournament campaign before playing into Morocco. The team is expected to take off. They're expected to face an Egyptian side in a friendly match before they travel to the North African country for the tournament. Well, back in Ghana, and providing quality sports, education, development and equality for all children in Ghana is currently inadequate. Former Asante Kotoko striker Mark Eduamofa wants to bridge the gap and give hope to the less privileged. We have more details for you in the following report.
Mark Eduamofa began his football career at Young Brazilians and Fozan FC, 2 juvenile clubs in the late 90s in Accra. Playing for Real Sportive, Amofa had his breakthrough in the Ghana Premier League at Liberty Professionals, which attracted a transfer to Asante Kotoko in 2006. The best spell of Eduamofa's career came when he was with Asante Kotoko, where he scored 21 goals from 29 matches. This earned him a move to Bloemfontein Celtics in South Africa in 2007, where he lasted 16 months. 2 unsuccessful years followed in Denmark and Israel, and forced a return to Liberty Professionals in 2011. Mark then traveled to Thailand in 2014, but called an end to his playing career at Citra Club in Bahrain in 2014 after recurrent injuries.
Well, there was too much of frustration in it, so, and at some point I'll definitely stop playing. So I decided, you know what, it's time to say goodbye. I didn't want to wait till I get hurt or something happened to me before I stopped playing. And I stopped while I was still fit.
After hanging his boots, Amofa relocated to the United States, where he eventually joined the Army.
With a grassroots coaching license from the United States Soccer Federation in 2021, he aims at developing the basics in juvenile football in Ghana.
Gone are the days when we either choose to play football or go to school. So we trying to bring that awareness that this time you can still play football and go to school, and also try to give sponsorship, mentorship to the up-and-coming ones.
The former Black Satellites and Matthias Ford, who was retired from the military but has no plans to venture into professional coaching, he wants to charter a path that offers a lot more than just the skill on the pitch.
Well, Black Stars winger Joseph Painter has stated that he was pleased with his performances for KRC Genk just this ended season. Now, the former Tema youth star recorded double digits in goals and assists in the past season.
Yeah, I think I've achieved what I wanted to achieve in so many years, because since I joined in a club in Europe, my first season in Budapest in Hungary, Ferencváros, was also 2 decades. Also in Turkey was also 2 decades. So me having these amazing numbers in 2 decades numbers with assist and goals was something really amazing. So I would say it was a blessed season for me, and yeah, it's really amazing, and yeah, it's something that I really hoped, and it has really come to pass. And me having this kind of goals is something that has made me who I am, and also made me so proud of myself, of the player I've become for this season.
Or you can get that exclusive interview on New Day tomorrow. That's Friday, and during the sports segment. My name is Ure Kwampofo, and that's how we wrap up the sports here on News 360.
Mabema ya abrantipa senya nyama ehuhia ahobambo nti ehye no ma no tokoso senya odwen nyama ho konkan eye ahotoso a owo ewo gidie mu utumi tinu no kredi ho pampan efri echire Yeda Abrantipa Gentleman Cosmetics Hunya Medi Yawo activated charcoal shower gel, body lotion, eduham perfume. Iwia se hiya Abrantipa bra beyi mubako ye Abrantipa.
Water is life. Water gives life. Water moves through nature in a never-ending cycle. Observe the beauty of water as it flows all around us, refreshing and restoring. Gaze in wonder at the stillness and beauty of nature. There's harmony in nature everywhere around. Water revitalizes the body and keeps you going strong. Water is life. Water gives life. Drink Awake Purified Drinking Water, one for life. So relax and unwind, and in the calmness of nature, find the rest you desire. For every bottle of Awake you buy, an amount to be donated to the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is said here.
Sorry for the interruption, but due to the acidic content of the atmospheric weather condition in the economy, I have decided wa obesumami bia metal afemuntin kabo editui na monshanenso for wache metal 1 Ghana cedi for jollof rice, 1 cedi 20 pesos for gobe, 80 pesos for kenke tamai any other cow, 1 cedi 50 pesos.
You know what, just get me water.
For sachet water 30 pesos, for bottled water 50 pesos. Oh, Moka has a Vodafone cash. I'm the free. I'm from free. metal.
Transfer charges ain't bida. Switch to Vodafone Cash today and enjoy zero charges whenever you send money to all networks. Yes, sending money is free on Vodafone Cash. Only e-levy applies. Dial *110# to send money today. Vodafone.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by Awake Purified Drinking Water and powered by 3 Entertainment.
Time now for some entertainment news. My name is Anita Ikuya Ikufu. An astute playwright, author and poet, the late Professor Ama Ata Edu will be given a state-assisted burial. President Akufo-Addo made the assurance when the family of the late literary giant called on him at the Jubilee House to officially inform him of her passing.
The group, led by the family head of the Ojaze Asona family, Ebusiapeni Kwamena Esando Edu, daughter of the late Professor Amata Edu, Kina Likimani, were at the Jubilee House on Wednesday to officially inform the president of the death and arrangements made for her burial.
The arrangement is on the 13th of July. She will be laid in state in Accra here. On the 14th, she will be sent to her hometown, Abiaze Chakor. The 15th, the final funeral rites and the burial will be done.
The president, who warmly received them, described the late Amata Edu as an outstanding writer who impacted many with her works, personality, and what she stood for.
I knew this lady quite well. We were contemporaries at the university. We met as young people when we were both at Legon, and we maintained a reasonably good relationship. I was one of her admirers. Outstanding writer, advocate, the women's cause, the cause of Africans, the progressive people around the world. I think she brought a lot to our country by her works, by her personality, and by the causes that she stood for.
While consoling the family, President Akufo-Addo assured them that the late playwright will be given a state-assisted send-off.
I'm happy that the arrangements you have made for her funeral, the Thursday the 13th, I will be able to join in the lying state. And even before you came here, it would be my decision that she should be given a state-assisted funeral. She deserves it, myself and the people of Ghana, to pay our due respect and express our appreciation and gratitude for her life.
The family was appreciative for the honor accorded the late Professor Ama Ata Edu.
And now let's take you to Tamale as the journey to find out one lady who will be ultimately crowned as GMB 2023 has begun. The audition train made its first stop today in Tamale at the Gariba Lodge. Let's bring you some highlights from the auditions. The Ghana's most beautiful team landed in Tamale on Thursday to kickstart the audition process at the Gariba Lodge. And as custom demands, the team, accompanied by the reigning queen, Tungteya Dahamani, paid a courtesy call on the Tamale Dakbema, Na Fuseni Bawa Bambarigu, at his palace to officially introduce themselves and their mission in Tamale. The selection process officially started at 9 a.m. with beautiful ladies from the northern sector of the country who had come in their numbers to audition.
My name is Alela from the Savannah region. The judges should expect loads and loads of confidence from me and excitement, because you can't be bored at your auditions.
From catwalk to presentations on their region, the ladies also displayed their talent to impress the audition judges.
That's right.
In all, 20 ladies have been shortlisted from the northern sector auditions. This Saturday, join the audition train in Kumasi at the Micklin Hotel for the chance to become the next GMB Queen, which is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
See you on Saturday. That'll be all for the entertainment news segment. My name is Anita Ikuya Ikufu. Have a good evening.
Survivors from a fishing boat that sank off southern Greece in one of Europe's worst migrant disasters say up to 100 children may have been on board. At least 78 people have already been confirmed dead in the disaster. But many more could still be missing at sea, with reports suggesting that up to 750 people were aboard the vessel. At least 11 arrests have been made, including several Egyptians, on suspicion of people trafficking, Greek TV reports. The Coast Guard has been criticized for not intervening earlier, but authorities say their offers of aid were refused. Rescuers are still searching the area where the boat capsized, almost 15 nautical miles off the southwest coast, as hopes of finding more survivors dwindle.
Well, that's how we conclude News 360. We came to you live from our studios here at Desawe in Kanda, Accra. We really do appreciate your time. For more news, do also log on to our website, www.3news.com. My name is Pa Kusiasari.
I am Portia Gabot. There's Ghana Tonight with Alfredo Kanse at 10 p.m. Have a lovely evening.